I got it. From Lansdale, Pennsylvania, a psychology major, have no fear. Feminism is here.
Hashtag IWD 2014. This year, International Women's Day took place on March 8th, 2014. In celebration, a few of my friends and I took to Twitter to spread awareness that gender inequality and sexism are still issues that pervade in the United States today. Some of my tweets included, you can be anything you want to be, regardless of your gender, as well as stereotypes of feminists are strategically crafted to keep young women away from feminism. And if you think about that last one, it really couldn't be truer. I can say the word feminist, and I can feel people around me get uncomfortable. This is because history and media propaganda have done an excellent job of portraying feminists as man-haters, bra burners, or just women with irrational shouting problems. So when my sister saw my tweet from the day, she said, "Wow, Rach, that is so embarrassing, please delete those." But she couldn't really give me a good answer as to why they were so embarrassing. So I've come to the conclusion that people don't really identify themselves as feminists because they are either afraid of the stereotypes that are associated with it, or they don't fully understand what feminism is. So over the past few months, I've been researching feminism, learning more about what feminists stand for. And I've come to the conclusion that gender inequality still exists, and the only way to prevent it is to modify your attitude and to advocate for the female gender. So today, I'm going to be discussing some of the problems that exist despite feminist efforts, as well as some of the solutions that feminists support to create a more politically, socially, and economically equal society. So, let's start by discussing some of the issues that feminists tackle on a daily basis. There are three main issues that feminists tackle. The first is the objectification of the female body by the media. According to Meg Breslin, the author of a 2012 article, Little Women, if you're a girl who lives in the media world, you are constantly being told that you're an object to be looked at. People learn more from the media than they do any other source in the entire world. Advertising, films, TV shows, video games, they teach us, they have been shaping our brains, lives, and emotions from the very second we were born. Victoria's Secret ads and TV shows that feature their characters in revealing garments, they send girls the message that their value and worth is based on how they look, and teaches boys that this is what is important about girls. In an October 2014 survey conducted with 16 Clemson students, more than half of the students described the ideal woman with characteristics that were merely physical, excluding words such as successful or achievement. Media communicates that being smart, strong, and successful are not enough, and that being a woman means constantly striving for the unattainable ideal of beauty, as well as the approval in the eyes of men. In a 2011 article published in the Marin Independent Journal, Cecilia Zamora and Laura Adler state, between 5th and 9th grade, gifted girls, perceiving that smarts aren't sexy, begin to hide their accomplishments. They become isolated and depressed. Teen girls cut themselves, starve, and scrutinize their bodies in front of the mirror for hours because they don't believe they're beautiful the way they are. In the previously mentioned survey, 86% of the students indicated they'd like to have a daughter one day. Would you like your daughter to live in a world where the media dictates how she feels about her own body? The second problem feminists face is the lack of women leadership. Sheryl Sandberg, the current COO of Facebook, writes in her 2013 book, Clean In, conditions for all women will improve when we see more women leaders taking a strong and serious issue with their needs and concerns. According to a 2011 documentary, Misrepresentation, women make up 51% of the population, yet 17% of Congress. Gloria Steinem states in the same documentary that no wonder there's so much trouble in this country. We've been choosing our national leadership from 6% of the population. This 6% is made up of white, heterosexual, educated, property-owning males. At this rate, because there are no women in leadership roles, we will not see a representative government for another 500 years. But as Marian Wright Engelman, the founder of the Children's Defense Fund, states in the previously mentioned documentary, you can't be what you can't see. There are not many women leaders in the public eye, so young girls don't realize what they could be one day. The women leaders they do see are from films such as The Proposal, where the woman leader is pictured as bossy, childless, loveless, and had to give up everything to get to the top. The final issue that feminists fight is gender stereotyping. In a 2012 TEDx talk given by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, she states, "The problem with gender is that it prescribes how we should be, rather than recognizing how we are." In my October 2014 survey, only 3 students didn't stereotype the type of toys that young boys and young girls should play with. This highlights the fact that we impose stereotypes onto our children from a very young age. We socialize young boys to think that being a man means being powerful and in control, and overall better, smarter, and stronger than a woman. If a young boy were to ask his parents for a Barbie doll for Christmas, he'd be criticized for his lack of masculinity. Society has raised us to believe that femininity is a weakness, and that allows men to think that women themselves are weak. From a young age, we tell boys that they cannot show emotion, they cannot show weakness. This doesn't help them learn how to express their emotion in a healthy way. Young men who can't healthily show their emotion have been shown to act out and have been more likely to be sexually and domestically violent. Next, let's explore some of the solutions that feminists support to create a more politically and socially equal society. Many solutions exist, but we must first be unafraid to identify ourselves as feminists to implement them. According to a 2014 article titled "Gender Inequality Must Be Eradicated" and published by the Nebbia Economist, we need to work closely with our community, cultural, and political leaders because we need to eradicate any type of positions that are vulnerable for women. We must challenge the media to value women for more than their beauty, sexuality, and youth, and challenge the types of advertising and entertainment we see. About a year ago, a fashion company, Dolce & Gabbana, published an advertisement that featured a woman being forcefully held to the ground by a man. By refusing to purchase products from this line, you're counteracting the image. And in general, by being aware of the sexist content you see in your daily life and taking action against it, you're helping eliminate sexist content. Also, encourage the women in your daily life that they have true power and encourage them to become leaders. Inspire your girlfriends, your sisters, and support the young women you see fighting for leadership roles by focusing on their platform rather than their gender. And finally, raise your daughter to know that she has a voice, and raise your son to recognize and champion the successes of accomplished women. To conclude, I would like to remind you that feminism is not something to be afraid of. There are many problems that feminists are fighting to solve that can impact you in many ways, whether you're male or female. Throughout the course of this speech, I've talked about the problems that feminism tries to solve, as well as the solutions that are in place to fight these problems. I challenge you to identify yourself as a feminist and fight for the political, social, and economic equality of the sexes. You don't have to burn your bras, hate men, or have hairy underarms to become a feminist. You just must believe in the good that can come from a place where women have the opportunity to achieve whatever they desire. So, how long is it going to take for someone to stand up for your mothers, your daughters, your sisters, your wives, or yourself? Thank you.